listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner. And this morning I'm with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Hurrah. You can text our show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Those are your choices.
Morning, Frank.
How
Morning.
you doing?
We've already had a missive in.
Good.
And this is from Mike Griffin. He says, morning, folks. As three people engaged in the entertainment industry, can you answer me this? Why have film credits speeded up of late? I used to be an avid reader of credits. Those on the Godfather films were meat and drink to me. Is it because powers that be think we can just pause stuff? My all-time favourite credit was when Lassie was on television and it read, Lassie is owned and trained by Rudd Weatherwax. Keep up whatever. That's Mike Griffin. Sterling work, Mike.
That's a very good.
Yeah.
My favourite credit, not as good as that, was Man in Marquee, Wilfred Hyde-White. I always like that.
And you're a fan of the Hawaii Five-0 credit, Frank?
Oh, Zulu as Kona. Always as a child, perhaps not really aware of cultural differences. When it said Zulu as Kona, I thought, why bother changing that? Never occurred to me that people were people in Hawaii were looking at Jack Lord as Steve McGarrett and thinking, why bother changing that? And it's a good question.
Yeah.
Why do we bother changing? Why do actors not just use their own names easier?
Yeah, I mean, I could have gone as Alan instead of broken leg patient in my last TV credit.
Broken leg patient? Were you a Native American?
I think so, yeah. Actually, I probably need to IMDb myself to find out if I was listed as broken leg man or broken leg patient in the actual final thing. Because that sort of stuff's important to me.
Well, you might have got more money for patient.
Yeah, exactly.
Haven't you got your CV
at the ready
to hand?
Like
what if you
walked out
if you walked out and bumped into a big-time producer?
Well, what if...
well, I think if you handed him a piece of paper that had been folded into four with your CV on it...
It's been in my pocket for 3 years.
It's always worked in the films.
It does, doesn't it?
You see, I always felt with the as himself credit, I don't like an as himself at the beginning because it's a bit spoiler alert, isn't it?
Do they have as herself if it's a woman? I can't remember ever having seen as herself.
You've got a few as himself credits on things,
God,
you?
yeah.
Have you got as it?
He
had one in that lovely Robbie Coltrane drama.
Yes, I have. Emmerdale Farm as himself. I have.
You haven't.
You did.
Oh yeah,
have you?
Because
I think you'll find it's called Emmerdale now. Thank you.
That's right.
Or is it Emmerdale Farm now?
No, I think it's Emmerdale. You're quite right. Yeah. But the last time I watched it was Emmerdale Farm, and I'm including when I was on it. I was the mystery voice on a radio competition on Emmerdale Farm.
Were you?
Oh yeah, been around a bit.
Oh, Frank.
But the chap in question is right. The credits definitely do seem to have sped up, don't they? It's like,
do you think so?
It'd be very hard to read Frank Skinner as radio host nowadays because it goes past so quick.
No, it's not that though. I don't think they're the people that care. The people at the sort of the top end of the film food chain. It's like, Steve, who did the catering, is furious if he sped past. When I was a kid, we used to go to the cinema. The credits, as soon as the film ended, those sort of lovely silky curtains you used to get in, they would close and the credits would just be shown over them. So you couldn't really read them anyway.
Through the curtain, like a striptease.
I never saw someone stopping for the credits. It would have been eccentric in the extreme.
Well, my father was very strict about staying for the credits. If people got up and walked out, I mean, he called them illiterate swines, which is the worst insult he knew.
Oh, I mean.
Great insult, though. Yeah. I like it.
But maybe they were
Yeah, they might.
They were illiterate. It's a bit hard on them.
I bet with your upbringing in the enclave of show business, you understood the credits. I bet you understood, what
a grip.
Key grip.
And a gaffer boy, or whatever they're called.
And key grip.
They would, they'd sit there in the cinema smoking cigarettes.
We have gaffer boys in the S&M community, don't get me wrong. And also a key grip. And I tell you, it makes your eyes water.
This is Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
What were you going to read, Emily D?
Oh, yeah. So we had a text in from Samantha in Welling, And she says,
I love you. Come on, everybody. Samantha. No?
I didn't know it.
I would say not really.
It's from High Societies.
Oh, I love that movie. Okay.
I think I've got it right.
I don't think I know.
I'm a one-girl guy. Anyway.
My favourite film credit is Man in Water in Titanic.
Do you know who it was?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, if he's listening to this, see?
Oh, he'll be furious.
Not only are they
Moment.
being speeded up, but now people are just giving the other half of the credit.
I was in a film called SOS Titanic.
Were you?
Yes. And I played one of the Fortunates. I was in one of the Fortunates, and I was also up top as opposed to below.
Oh,
Okay.
nice.
Below stairs. But yeah, I wonder what my credit was.
One of the fortunates. not just in that. In
Maybe
life.
there's a heading that said Fortunates, and then it just listed them
I might have
underneath.
been posh child.
I would
Nice.
fancy your chances of getting in a lifeboat.
Yeah.
I'd
Would
say.
you?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I
Using
don't
my
know.
elbows. I'd charm my way in, I think.
Yes, I think yes. No, I think people wouldn't really question. You'd have such a sort of.
Yeah.
You'd be on your way to the lifeboat. People would let you in.
Everyone's talking
You'd
about
be
the
allowed
Titanic.
to podge, even in the queue. Do people still podge?
Podge?
Yeah, you
Oh, what, like
used to
budge up?
podge. Don't podge.
Oh, right.
Okay.
We have another credit. Paul from Glennon in Liverpool. Morning, people. Oh, it's very comrade. I like that. My favourite film credit is from The Italian Job. Michael Caine's Suits by Man at CNA.
Nice.
Wow.
And Paul says, thanks for the Saturday happiness.
Oh.
Oh, no, you've done praise.
I know,
Take that.
but I
I'll
like
take
the
Or
idea
was
of
that
the
for you personally? I did like Voice of Dragon, John Hurt in Merlin.
Yes, you did.
Oh,
You loved Merlin.
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah, in all its
Don't get sad
many
about it. 736 has texted, I've always wondered what a grip does. Why don't they just buy some clamps and make him T-boy instead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems a bit unfair.
Crocodile clips.
Yeah.
You should know all about that.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
I'll show you some scars.
No, you're all right.
It looks
thanks.
like castellation. Is that what they call it?
I don't know, I like the word. Whatever
thing.
it means.
You know the thing where a castle wall goes up, then it goes down, then it goes up, then it goes down, then it goes up again?
Yeah.
Oh, like the portcullis?
No.
Oh.
Like a
All
Toblerone.
right, calm down, everyone. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to fall out over castles.
Okay. Let's not go into castle chat this early. I was staying at a hotel this week, and I arrived, and there were some other people I was working with who were also there in the foyer.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the foyer?
Yeah.
Of a hotel? And I said something which I think might be the most middle-class thing I've ever said.
Oh,
Excellent.
what did you say?
And I said it, and it sort of hung in the air. And I shocked myself. I actually said, and this is completely unironically, I meant it in some strange way. I actually said, I'm just going to go upstairs to freshen up. Now, there are three things about this. First of all,
I like that there are three things about this.
no one thought it strange. That was
No.
the first. That was the first thing that really threw me. Also, I had no idea how one freshens up. And the third thing is that it's a cliche. I think you'd agree.
It
It's
is.
a cliche, and I'll go out of my
Yeah.
way to avoid a cliche.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'd absolutely dived in at the deep end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you ever say I'm going to freshen up, Em? I'll start with you.
Well, I know what you mean by freshen up.
But I
FYI.
don't. What would you? When I said
Well,
I'm
I'm
going to
assuming-
freshen up, what would you expect me to do when I get up there?
I don't really want to go into it in your case. But I imagine you'd had a long car journey. Am I
Oh.
right? You just arrived at the hotel?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So there's
So it would involve
there's things that need to be done.
some sort of discharge.
Well, what I would do, absolutely
Yeah.
disgusting. I would go into the hotel. I can't get over it. I would go into the hotel room. I would freshen up quickly. I'd probably change my top.
But
would
when I think freshen
wash
up-
my hands, get some baby wipes out.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, lovely. Freshen up. Freshen up with my baby wipes.
See, for some
Spray
reason,
my hair.
if I was going to
perfume.
freshen up, I'd feel I need rose water.
Really?
Something about rose water that to me, is at the very heart of freshening up.
That's
and I
fine.
don't really know what rose water is. Is it
No,
some
I
water
don't.
that's had roses left in it?
It's a
think
nice
it's-
scented water, Frank. Would you go
You
for
see, we have-
a squirt of the Dove deodorant? Bit of Lynx, maybe?
Bit of links, like
What,
he's 15.
midday?
Would you not do that as part of the freshening
No, I
up?
do that in the morning. It says 24 hours on the bottle.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you can use it
I think
more
that's
than
a-
once.
I think it's
just
a
FYI.
guesstimate.
You
Well,
can.
but then I'm going to be unsure about what the time lapse thing is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want a 24-hour one and then 12 hours into that another 24-hour one.
Yeah.
Soon I'm going to. I'd have to get a chart. do I want an armpit chart? Is that what I want in my life?
This is Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
It's still Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I had a contact from my son's school
Oh, yeah.
about they like you to take in cereal boxes and stuff like
Oh,
that
right,
for 'em
okay.
to make stuff. Yogurt pots.
All that stuff, yeah.
They've refined it. They've put a ban on one popular child making stuff item. Can you guess what that is?
What's that?
Glitter.
No,
Pipe cleaners.
no.
Glue.
Where do they get
Glue.
pipe cleaners from now?
Yeah, I know.
Where do they find the pipe smoke? Not only are they going to find a pipe smoker, but one that uses pipe
I
cleaners.
used to love a pipe cleaner.
Pipe
I
cleaner. You
reckon.
could make a pipe cleaner man with them, couldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. And they were a lovely sort of fashion inspiration.
Yeah,
I
they,
reckon
they
they-
were less good when they'd been used, I found.
Ugh.
Anyway,
I reckon they probably sell more pipe cleaners for arts and crafts now, specifically for
Oh,
arts
hang
and
on.
crafts, than they do for cleaning pipes.
So we're still trying
That's
to
what I
guess
think.
what the item was.
Oh, yeah, what is
What
the
have you
item?
done? Glitter?
Egg boxes.
children's craft.
Okay.
No,
Egg-
not egg boxes.
Oh.
You've done glitter.
I'll give you a clue. It's been removed on hygiene grounds.
Oh.
I don't like the sound of this.
No,
Oh.
it's the cardboard inner toilet roll,
Oh, the inner
Thing.
sanctum.
which
As I
was
call it.
Yeah.
a mainstay. A mainstay.
Can
Why
I
has
just
that been
say,
removed?
as you said that, I saw the producer mouth toilet roll.
Did you?
Like it was a quiz question.
Oh, I hate it when the audience join in with a quiz. Really spoils it.
I quite like the help.
But isn't that? Do you find that
I find that
gonna say
ludicrous?
ludicrous. Yeah.
Very good.
It wasn't
I
deliberate.
mean, what a bunch of losers.
Well, very good.
Come on. Come on.
I mean, it
It's
used to be.
lunacy. If you ask me.
But apparently, I suppose it makes sense. It's been around quite a lot of
What, the toilet roll?
toilet activity.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
The inner sanctum's safe.
I
babe.
think so.
I don't know if it is, you see.
No, I agree. I think it's safe.
My inner sanctum is safe.
What about the spores?
I'll tell you that.
You're not thinking about the spores, though, that travel.
No, I'm not.
You know,
Not
they
the way
say.
I treat my cleaner. She knows what to do.
No, but you know what they say? You have to close your lid before flushing, otherwise your,
Thanks for the
toothbrush will end up like one of those
Covered in-
in-seed dandelions. We can't see them, covered in excrement spores.
Enjoy
Yeah.
your breakfast.
I'm just trying to help people.
Yeah.
Don't put me down. Yeah. So, I mean, if you think about the classic Tracy Island, the classic Blue Peter-Bill, do you remember Tracy Island?
Yeah.
Oh, it's an
I do.
it's a legendary kids make.
Oh, is it?
And it was so popular, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm sure it had a lot of toilet roll holder things in it.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah, it was crawling with them.
It was. It's crawling with spore. Feces Island, I call it. Made by Anthea Turner. Anthea Turner, more like it.
More like it.
I think we're going to have to stop on this.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Um,
Absolute
499, who's
Oh, yeah.
499, who's Ed in rugby, has texted. My favourite film credit is Dinosaur Supervisor from Jurassic Park.
That's nice job.
I mean, I
I like to think it was a dinosaur.
Nice job. May I say, not done very well in that instance.
No, they were all over the shop.
yeah.
I mean, you need to get yourself a new
No,
one.
but it'd be great if it was a dinosaur, like a shop
Yeah, just-
steward figure.
The best one. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody out.
Just coming in and saying, hang on. How long's he been working, this one?
But if it was a human, it's a job I feel I've been overlooked for, because as I've said, I've specialised in job titles. You know, in my acting career, there's chauffeur, barman. Broken leg patient is not quite the same, is
Were
it?
you
'Cause I don't
chauffeur?
think that was a job. I was a chauffeur.
I saw you as barman.
I've been barman a couple of times.
Loved your
actually.
work as barman.
In fact, I think I've got 3 barmen.
Wow.
Haven't we all, dear?
You have to specialise. I went to the Hokusai exhibition on
Sorry.
Bless you.
the Hokusai exhibition. I'm trying to do the pronunciation. You know, respect.
Uh-huh.
Do you know him?
I don't
He's
think
a
so.
Japanese artist. He did the Great Wave.
Oh yeah,
What he did when I left. I was moved by it.
yeah. He's good. That wave,
Yeah.
like that wave.
Yeah, it's up there with the Mexican
Yeah,
version.
2 of the best waves,
Yeah.
definitely.
Do you know the Great Wave, Em?
No.
It's a big drawing of a
Okay.
wave.
Sounds nice.
Now, if you think
That's
about
a very
it,
accurate description of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hence its title, It's
Great
called the Great
Wave.
Wave of somewhere, but I can't remember where. But anyway, if you consider there was no photography in the 19th century, it's a bit of a job drawing a wave.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to be sharpish
Yeah.
with the old pencil.
Oh.
Because here it comes. Get your pencil. I've got my pencil. Here it comes. I'm ready. Oh,
Oh, I missed it.
Hokusai, bless you. No, it was a really fab exhibition at the British Museum. And there's a thing I discovered there, which I didn't know, is that the Japanese believe that when you turn 61, you begin a completely new cycle of life.
Do they?
Is that right?
Yeah. Almost like a big changes happen and you become
Right.
almost, you almost start again.
Excellent.
Obviously, I was very interested in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope it doesn't affect me over 60s travel card
No.
in any way. But no, I'm now thinking, what's my enormous change going to be? What's going to be my big?
Well, it's very exciting.
Let's call it the Great Swerve.
Presumably, you'll still get the royalties from work you did before you were 61.
Well,
Skin
I know, but I
swerve.
might be the sort of person that gives them to a donkey sanctuary. Who
So
knows?
they see this as a very positive thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, nice.
Who knew? First I've heard of him, but I'm very excited. What will the change be? 8, 12, 15.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
I occasionally, well, almost never nowadays actually, but we've all had who would you say was your biggest celebrity crush ever, Em?
Was it realised, as it were?
No,
Or-
I mean unrealised. Celebrity crushes, I think, have been as from afar
Okay. Well, aside
rather
from
than from a car.
Okay, aside from the weirdos
Yeah.
like Henry VIII
Yeah.
and Vincent Cable
Yeah,
and the son of John Darwin Canoe Man,
yeah, all good.
I would say I have got some Route 1
Yeah,
stuff in my cupboard.
everyone does.
Okay,
Yeah.
are you ready for this? It's
Yeah.
a bit
Go on,
Route
then.
1, I'm sorry. Rob Lowe
Okay,
and the Cruise Meister.
Tom
I was
Cruise.
a bit of a
Oh,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise
Yeah,
fan.
fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my basic material.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
What about you, Al?
It's all of the same as Emily's and some
Yeah.
of my own. Kylie Minogue in
Kylie Minogue,
Neighbours,
I
like
can
just
see
to
it.
that point. Just to that point, like
I can see it.
Anyone
There's
else
something about a
Plain
dungaree.
Jane, also Neighbours.
Plain
Plain
Jane from
Jane.
Neighbours.
Remember that? I mean, that is like.
Plain Jane Superbrain, like your skull and Erinsborough.
I mean, what a revelation when she became beautiful. Like that, I still remember that scene. The way she.
Well, I
walked
remember
back
when
in,
Lucy
like-
became beautiful. Oh, they needed another actress to pull it off.
Well, there was another girl called Kimberly in
I
Neighbours.
think Lucy went to freshen up, and it was one of the great acts of freshening up. She came back as Melissa Bell.
Imagine if you'd done that in that hotel last week. I'm just going
Yeah,
upstairs.
come
to
down as
fresh-
Melissa Bell.
Somebody
Yeah.
else just
Still
playing
talking
you.
the same and everything.
Yeah.
Of course, nowadays you have to just let it go. You can't
talking
comment.
of that, Frank, I did briefly have a bit of a crush on J.R. Ewing.
Oh, Larry Hagman.
Yeah. I think it was the power was an aphrodisiac and the way he swilled the whiskey
I
glass.
went off him a bit when he jumped the queue for a kidney transplant.
Did he?
Yes.
Oh, I don't like that.
No, you got to have no podging
Wait your
when
turn.
it comes to a
Look at
kidney.
this podging.
No, wait.
Okay, so I've got some basics in my arsenal. What have you got?
I've hit on a slightly unusual one just
Go on.
lately. I've been watching several programmes about this person,
Go
and
on.
I've become me and Kath actually have both become slightly obsessed. And I've been doing a lot of Googling images as well as text. It's Vladimir Putin.
Oh,
What a guy!
yeah, he is an interesting
really?
guy.
No, but he's such. I've watched 4 hours of interviews with him
Right.
from Oliver Stone. You know Oliver Stone?
Yes, I know all of a sudden.
And he's so.
I
He's
just think
really.
your timing might be off with Putin.
Do you why?
He's not that popular a kind of a guy.
Well, no, but it's funny because I've mentioned this to a couple of people. Baroness Bakewell,
Yeah.
and my own brother-in-law,
Okay.
and they've both reacted like 1950s parents react in films when the girl goes out with that slightly rebellious guy with the motorbike. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's from the wrong side of the track. Leave him alone. You'll just get hurt. And, I mean, but both. I mean, quite angry about it. You can't go around saying that you're got a slight crush on Putin.
No,
That's
it's
people.
quite shocking. I mean, look, it's an improvement on Mugabe.
Well, yeah.
He's
I
got
know.
something
I'm
about
not saying I'm not fickle. But
What is it about him, Frank?
well, I'll tell you in a minute. But I've got the fairs. You know the fairs that tells me I have to basically means shut up.
Yeah.
In case you've never listened to the show before, the producer she'll love me taking the time out to tell you this when I'm mid fairs. She puts a small fairs in front of me, and it means shut up. We have to play music or adverts or something. And that's my life. All right. It's like living it's like being a giant in some sort of souk.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You know the people worried about the Putin thing?
Yeah.
Are they worried that it's only a hop, skip and a jump from slightly having a celebrity crush on Putin to becoming one of those people that thinks the whole of the Western media is against him and a conspiracy theorist?
I have toyed with that idea.
course.
When I watched him interviewed, I
You're on the
did
pathway.
think you might be profoundly evil, but
big
you
of
are
you.
still much more impressive than any British or American politician I've ever seen interviewed. So
Did you find him funny?
Well,
He's quite funny. I
he
think.
was quite funny. I'll tell you what he did. Oliver Stone persuaded him to watch Dr. Strangelove with him. You know that film about the bomb?
Yeah.
Which is, I think, a great thing to pull off as it was. So they had shots of him sitting there watching it.
And what did he
after
say?
Putin sort of says, it's not that far-fetched, I don't think. I know people who talk about stuff like this, which is reassuring. And anyway, he said, thank you for introducing me to this film. And Oliver Stone gave him the DVD and says, please keep it. He says, thanks very much. And he walked out the room. And then he come back in, Putin, and he said, typical American present, and he opened the DVD box and it was empty. I thought that's a good gag.
Okay, now we've got to the heart of the matter. You like him because he made a gag.
No,
I've got the Trump apologist to my
he's
right.
smart.
I've
not
got
a
the
Trump
Putin
apologist.
friend to my left. Oh, Jeremy, what's the world coming to?
He's smart. Jeremy loves him probably.
Trump is meeting him next week, I believe.
Is that
No.
right?
Yes, I think that's their first meeting in
Is that
inverted
where
commas.
you heard it here first? No one else knows.
Breaking news.
I told you not to mention the Trump Putin
I think it
thing.
has been in the
I told you that in
papers.
confidence.
Usually we do late reviews, and now we're doing breaking news. This is different.
Yeah. I'm looking
One of
forward
us has
to
got to
it.
read these papers.
Yeah, I suppose. By the way, I'm not a Trump apologist.
Okay, I was worried about that.
Well, I'm not a Putin apologist. I'm just a fanboy. So Trump Putin, is it Trump Putin?
I believe so, yeah.
Trumpeting.
Trumpeting. It's the trumpet. That's what you've read. There's some trumpeting next weekend. You got mixed up. I knew we'd get to the bottom of it eventually.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215. Follow the show on Twitter @Frank on the Radio. Email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Well, having expressed an interest in potentially the most evil man on the planet, what we're going to talk about next?
Well, I was wondering if Chris Packham qualifies as a friend of this show, because he gets a mention every now and again when he goes into the...
I've worked with him, of course.
You've worked with them all. I'm surprised you
worked with
haven't
him,
done
Frank.
something with Putin over the years.
Give it
Yes.
time. He's got the big meeting next week.
Yeah.
Frank will be turning
No,
up.
that's Trump.
Yeah.
You keep getting us mixed up.
Oh, yeah.
Trumpeting.
He did Room 101 and put in humankind was one of the things he wanted to put in.
You wanted to put
Wow.
humankind, not human kindness.
No,
He's like
humankind.
Nietzsche or something. He's very existential.
It was because of all the damage we've done to the planet.
Oh, yeah. And we have.
Oh, did he? Oh, he did
I mean,
what they
No,
do
I
when
think
they...
it's wear and tear, isn't it? Been on it a long time.
Yeah, but he did the bit of an Oscar winner thing. He used the light-end platform for the
Oh,
serious
yeah.
issue.
He did.
Yeah. Well, he's said that birds and bees are now competing for space in those nesting boxes that people put out.
Are we at last talking about the birds and the bees
We
on
are.
Breakfast Radio?
We are.
Well, it's overdue.
I think we might have before in a more oblique
Yeah.
way.
Quite possibly.
But yeah, they're apparently vying for space, as they would say in the article. The bees just keep showing up and going, oh, we'll have this. It's a
So-
classic case of
Taking
we're
over
having that.
the bird's manor.
So
Yeah.
these are these wooden houses with the circular...
Yeah, like a
thing.
cuckoo clock, but without the clock bit.
It is like a cuckoo
I've
clock.
seen them.
But now it's a bzzz, like it's just a hive, I guess.
And if the
of
bees arrive first, they ruin it for everyone.
They're sort of taking squatters' rights over
Yeah.
the...
I mean, imagine if you're a bird thinking, oh, there's one of those little houses just the job. Going inside where it's a bit murky and realising it's full of bees. Oh, my God. And hearing like a small wax door slam shut on the circular portal. Oh, man.
I love the bird's response. Oh, my God.
Well, I imagine a bird would have a bee in a,
You'd be
in
gutted,
a
wouldn't
tussle.
You think?
But not in the confines on the bee's manor. It's
No,
like don't
yeah.
take on a fish in the sea.
No, it's like getting in one night and there's a burglar in the house, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
You get in, and the lights are still off and you realise there's something. The next thing you know, you've been stung.
Yeah.
When the bird approaches, do the bees control the noise to frighten
You
them?
think they're in there going, shh, shh, I can't. I'm a bee. No, shh. The birds are coming.
Keep it down.
What is it that makes the... Is that when they're flying? When they land, they don't buzz anymore, do
No,
they?
but
don't,
I've
do
seen
they?
them crawling on the ground and they're
I've seen them crawling on the ground. At the weekends.
Yeah.
That's
they've
what they're
all
like.
had a few.
Yeah,
We've all had a
exactly.
drink.
You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
hear a peep out of them, the ground bees.
Do you
And
think
then they get up in the air and there's no stopping them.
They do buzz then.
But what a horror that would be.
Do you think they have a squabble like outside the bird box where the birds are going, look, these are called bird boxes. They're for us.
Yeah, but standing outside, like
Yeah,
not
yeah.
allowed in,
Yeah. Maybe just hovering, doing that flapping thing.
Yeah.
with one small bee as a spokesperson, standing at the circular at the portal.
Saying no
bee guy.
train, no
Say,
trainers
look,
allowed.
mate. Look, mate, I'm sorry, first come, first serve.
The bee saying, you guys are massive, but you fly so quietly.
Yeah.
We go bzzz and we're tiny.
Wouldn't it be great if birds, I've often thought this, wouldn't it be great if birds slept in the sky?
Oh, do you know?
Have you never
that's one of
thought
your
that?
best conceits. Yes.
Imagine going out, when you're out at
Yeah.
night, and just looking up and you can see them there. Just like, imagine, I guess they'd be on like pockets of air in the sky.
There must
just
be
sleeping.
some. There must be some. We're going to get a reader text in saying I'm an expert in
Do
birds.
any birds sleep in the sky?
I bet
at
there's a
12,
bird
15?
of prey
They might
that flies
get, they
and has a
might
little
get
power nap.
drowsy mid-flight,
It's
mightn't
it's
they?
the avian equivalent of a horse sleeping standing up, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bird sleeping in the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, you never see them drinking Red Bull or coffee on their long journeys.
They don't get the coffee alerts and pull over
emigrating.
now.
Yeah.
Can I get on the bench?
But it would be such a brilliant visual thing, the great clusters of sleeping birds. Let's say 700 or 800 feet in the air.
It would
Oh, man.
Are you a bee or a bird fan?
In this
Yeah.
particular context,
Whose side are you on is what I'm asking.
well, I think the secret, I don't want to get all, UKIP about it, but it is a birdhouse. That's what it says. You know, it's not called a bee house.
Yeah.
If it was a bee house, it would have a much smaller portal. Let's face it.
Yeah.
So in this instance, I'm with the birds.
Al?
I'm not sure. I'm struggling to
This is what
decide.
political correctness has done to
Lib
public
Dems.
debate.
Oh, no, I'm not politically
Lib
correct.
Dem
but
over there.
Frightened to commit now in case somebody says, "Oh well, yeah,
Can I
that's
just
it."
say,
I'm not-
controversially, I'm bees.
Really?
I'm team bees.
Well, I
bees
feel-
gone rogue and I like it.
Well, we'll sort this out later.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Oh, never mind that. What about Flips, who's been in touch to tell us swifts do sleep in the sky at very high altitudes?
You are kidding me. That's fantastic.
Well, we have got that corroborated a little bit by 324. Jeff says swifts sleep, eat and mate in the sky. They only land to lay eggs and raise chicks. You've got
Really?
to take some time
They
out
mate
sometime.
in the
I
sky.
guess.
They mate in the sky?
Mile High
Yeah.
Club.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I nearly went into an anecdote, but I'm leaving it.
Filthy creeps in
We've
the
got-
sky. There's nowhere safe.
No.
I mean, we've got to see that vista.
Well, if swifts mate in the
I
sky,
told you, don't call me Vista.
presumably they have the reverse if they go down to.
Oh, let's stay
ground.
out of that. Let's not get into the minutiae.
Do you know what? The sooner they leave those bird boxes, the better.
I reckon,
What, the
I'm just
bees?
saying, I don't think bees would behave like
I reckon
that.
the swifts have a terra firma club where they go down to the ground.
I bet they do, yeah.
Yeah,
They
the
come down and
basement.
mate on the ground and then brag about it for years. I've got magpies
Sorry to hear that.
nesting at my house.
Have you?
Is this
I-
a rap? I've got
No.
magpies nesting at my house.
I've got
my
magpies
house.
nesting at my house.
LCD
I don't
sound
let
system.
them in. I don't send them out. I say magpie. No, it's not one of
Are
those.
they So are they in a bird box?
No, they've built their own thing. Who'd have thought that could happen?
BYO.
Because I thought traditionally, don't they? Oh, that's cookies that steal the nest. I think
yeah.
they steal
What
small.
was it? What? I've
Magpies
sort of
steal
just
shiny
flotsam
stuff,
and
yeah.
jetsam from the garden, like a
Yeah, I've seen them. They've been carrying sticks in and out
it's
for
like a
ages.
raft being built.
Anyway, I've got slightly anxious because obviously grew up on the old One for Sorrow, Two for Joy, so I'm desperately worried they might split up.
Oh yeah, you don't
Oh,
want
yeah.
that.
One of them
I've
gets
seen
the
them
house.
individually. Yeah.
If one of them gets the house, my place is a chapel to bad luck then.
Yeah.
And also, what about if they have 5 kids? Then it's the part of the song I've never really got.
Yeah.
7 for a secret never to be told. What am I supposed to do with that?
Oh, I didn't know that part
Not
of the
tell
song.
it.
1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy, 5 for silver, 6 for gold, 7 for a secret never to be told. But I mean, whose secret?
I don't think people can tell you that.
Well, also that implies that's the best one because it's going up, it's ascending, silver, then gold. I don't want a secret.
No, especially if
I'll
it's
take the
never
gold, thanks.
never to be told. It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean,
What if you just blurt it out at
Yeah.
at a bus stop or
I
something?
didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. So Chris Packham says there's a battle being waged on our front lawns.
Right.
That'll
The,
be
the
the
bee?
Swifts. Come down. S&M community.
Little leather cap.
Swifts and magpies. That's what we call them. There's been a weird bee. I'm starting to wonder if there's something's happening in the bee community because there's been lots of odd bee activity.
There
Now,
has.
bees go cray.
Yeah.
Bees go cray. They lose it.
Is it to
What are
do
you
with?
saying?
I don't know. I'm getting a bit rappy.
Bees go cray.
Yeah, bees go cray. There've been a few instances where they've lost their minds.
They went mad in New York
Yeah.
and they've blocked off a whole road.
Bees go mad in New York.
Yeah, it's one of my
Born in
famous-
America.
They swarmed the car in Hull.
Oh, that was weird.
20,000 of them. I mean,
Oh.
who counted that? Imagine that local reporter job. Can you go down to that car and count the bees?
Well, if you got a Rain Man to be down, then he'd have them counted in
He
2
would have been
seconds.
perfect.
And he could get there quickly because if you remember, is an excellent driver. So he's the man you want on the local press. So thing.
Yeah. Obviously, you'd have to arrive by B roads, wouldn't you?
I don't know what to say.
Play music, maybe?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We were talking about magpies, Frank.
Yeah.
Hi, Saturday team. I might leave this lady anonymous, just for her own good.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
She says, it's been a year since I stopped saluting magpies.
Oh.
Previously, it has been an all-consuming and sometimes dangerous habit, especially when driving.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I decided to stop doing it when I found out that my husband had been having an affair and wanted a divorce, and that the magpies had been close to useless.
Yeah, well.
Proud that I'm now almost superstition-free, and that was love XXX.
Well, well done on that, and I think you did the right thing. You've been let down by not only by him, but by the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and also by
I suggest a cull.
the false hope provided by superstition may be to blame as well, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you would bring that up.
I once met an athlete who had tripped up in an Olympics or a
Is it Mary
Commonwealth.
Decker?
Rebecca.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
And they were lying and looking at the sky, having fallen over the hurdle. I think it was
It's
a
a shame.
triathlete or something.
Yeah.
And thought,
And they saw
Well-
two Swifts having sex.
they thought all that superstition was for now, wasn't it? And they were never superstitious again.
Okay, I don't know if
Similar.
superstitious is supposed to be 100% effective. You know, even
don't.
Homer nods.
Even
Well-
Homer nods.
Let's ask Stevie Wonder. I mean, he was the authority.
He
on-
knows all about it.
Was it superstition, Frank, or superstitious?
Well, we never did quite work that out, did we? But all
We
we
had
know is
3
that
hours
the
devoted to it.
writings on the wall,
yeah.
not that helpful.
No.
But anyway.
Not on the birds and bees, but some news just in. 599 has texted, "Howdy chaps, the castle bits are called crenellations."
Crenellations. What did I call it? Castellation, I called
think
it.
so, but
Mine's better. If only I'd been there at the time.
Yeah.
Too late now. So this woman in Hull,
Yes.
can I ask you some questions
Oh,
about
the woman
this?
with the 20,000
Sure.
bees on the car.
Yes, but they were inside the car, were they not?
Yeah. They were trying to lure the bees, the swarm, out of the car.
But what I don't understand, I'm presuming that unlike the birdhouse, she doesn't have a small, perpetually open door on the car.
No.
No.
You don't see cars like that very often, where you don't have to open the door, you just get in through a hole. I don't think I've ever seen one.
Milk
Fred-
floats, however.
Fred
that's
Flintstone,
exactly
and
their
that was
design.
it.
What? Mill boats?
Milk floats.
Oh, milk floats.
You know, they've got
yeah.
an open door policy.
Okay,
haven't they?
but was it a milk float?
No.
No.
So, how did they get in? That's what is there a suggestion that the bees broke into her car?
I think they swarmed through the engine, did they not? Did they go-
Hold
right through.
it. Can you do that?
It says
Well, I
here,
can't. I'm not a
the
bee.
cars.
But that suggests that the engine has got an open aperture inside the car.
It
That can't
says-
be.
Some way through an air duct.
Oh,
or
hold your
something.
eye horses.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
it's like in Doctor Who when they go through the ventilation shaft.
Very
Oh,
similar.
yeah, it's just like that. Oh, I've never seen it.
I bet you've seen programmes where they do go through the
I have
ventilation.
seen that.
It is a 60s
seen
and 70s TV trope.
Poseidon Adventure. Hello.
Do they go through
Shelley
it?
Winters climbs to the top of the Christmas tree and then through the ventilation shaft.
Can I ask you on the subject of those cliched escape things? Is there a trapdoor in a lift? If you got stuck in a lift, is there a trapdoor in the
Also,
ceiling?
If
This
there
is
is
a great
said
texting.
trapdoor, can it open just like a waiter carrying a tray? Just so
Yeah,
gently. With
exactly.
one hand, they push
That's it. They reach up like that. Wouldn't it be great if they did it
Push
and
it.
it actually had like a couple of Camparis and some nuts and maybe a cocktail on it?
The ease. I mean, one would imagine I'd have to get a man down with a Allen key, but they push it. Little shove.
Like the doors on the ventilation thing,
Yeah.
they come off easy,
Yeah.
and they're big. Those ventilation shafts, you know, big enough for sometimes quite a muscular.
Well, this is what happens. It's a tiny
James Bond type
building, and
now.
sometimes then there's a Pompidou Centre on the other side.
Yeah, I know it's
Now,
complicated.
These cars, I quote, have all kinds of recesses, and the
Do they?
bees seem to have got into every one they could find.
I know, but how did they get into a locked car? 8, 12, 15?
Yeah, but if you're a bee...
Maybe she left her. If she left her nectar card on the dashboard.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
It strikes me that many of the newspapers now are moving towards the online rather than being
Yes. in print.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that mean that flying insects are on the verge of taking over the world? Because
What do you mean?
well, the rolled up newspaper was absolutely essential in the keeping down the numbers. You can't go swinging a laptop. It's going
No.
to get you nowhere.
No.
I think it's a side effect of newspapers going online that no one's thought about.
No one's dealing with
Yeah.
the flies.
Magazines are going online. Or what are you going to
True.
reach for when they're coming? You know, when the wasp
You're
comes
not
in.
there's no fashion Bible to
Who are you going to
hand.
call?
Bee-busters.
Yeah, well, you see, there's no such thing, is there? Let's face it.
Yeah.
I bet there is.
Well, I mean, fly swats.
Sounds like some sort of flat-chested women's society.
Fly swats are a bit whatever happened.
Now
to.
you've mentioned fly swats. Yeah, what fly swat? I saw some in TK Maxx the other week.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Do you think? And I'm not pleased by this development in the world. Before anybody complains, do you think these things have been phased out in favour of some kind of insect-killing aerosol spray? Do you think that's what's happened? And people don't need the newspaper; they just go tst and it's gone.
Yeah, but you know we're inhaling that, whereas when you're swinging, I don't know.
I'm not saying it's better. I just think that's what's happening. Maybe.
Well,
Well,
09. Sorry.
I went into my flat in Birmingham and it was infested. A pigeon I'd been away for a week, and the pigeon had died on the thing, and the place was full of flies.
Okay.
I'd say, a couple of hours with a rolled up newspaper, taking them on. I took them on.
Good for you.
Did you?
Now, if I'd have been spraying them, I think I'd have inhaled quite a lot of
Well,
toxic
you took
stuff.
the flies on.
As it was a pretty
With a
good
newspaper.
upper body workout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
I
there's
went
no
le-
jeopardy with the flies, Frank. Come on.
I was
There's
at
no
shoulder
bee
the
jeopardy.
following day. That would have been.
Well, no, but
fiery.
they carry probably more germs than your
true.
average.
They're more gross as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, they're all over Anthea Turner.
What about 097? Frank, maybe the bees were gorging themselves on the pollen filter. What was that belly rumble?
That was not me.
Oh, I didn't like that. Was that me?
Yeah, I
it was
think it
you,
was,
yeah.
Frank.
That sounded like something closing inside me, but perhaps forever.
You see, other radio shows wouldn't mention that, would they?
No,
They'd just
that
go,
was
"Oh."
like, honestly, that feels like part of maybe this is the beginning of the big change at 61.
Your new
It
life.
sounds like the left, someone's using my left ventricle to escape from my heart.
Is that what they were referring to?
I
with the
didn't
big
like that at
change?
all. Tell you what I like.
Slight
It's the way you have no control over those sounds. It's not like whistling.
Evidently, you don't.
No.
You didn't even know it had
It's
been
like-
you.
No, I honestly I was looking around to see who it was. And
You looked a bit Jacques Hughes in this
Wait,
area of the room.
Hang on, if Frank doesn't think it was him, it could have actually been any of us. We don't know.
No,
Like,
it 100 wasn't me.
well,
no. I mean, I'm 60. It was probably me. I think I'm like, with breakfast cereals, I think my contents are settling. It's what it is.
right.
I think by the end of the week, the whole upper part of my chest that will be empty, and the lungs and the stomach will all be in a bit of a slithery pile at the bottom. It's all right.
I like that was the big change that the Japanese philosophers...
They never told me that was going to be an implosion.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
Do they die when they sting, or
What,
is
the
that,
bees?
or is that a bit of an
Well,
an urban?
I
don't
would
think
like
that's
to
an
think
urban
so.
myth.
I think
Is it
that's
an
true.
urban?
I think that's an entrenched fact, isn't it? That's
Yeah, I
what
believe
would
it
say
is.
that
Well, there's lots of things that's entrenched facts, aren't there? Like,
Ethel from EastEnders are getting your words wrong. A trenched fact.
Ethel from EastEnders is a good reference.
There
that
you
we haven't
go.
had.
Was she the one who used to say, "Oh, Willie"?
No, that was me.
Oh yes.
This will play well on Absolute
That's
Rarities,
a
won't it?
recurring nightmare. No, do they die, or is that just something that people say? I mean, it's a bit dramatic.
I think they do. I think it's a
It is
fact.
that they are such drama queens, bees. Drama queen bees.
But more interestingly, I wonder if they know that they die if they sting. Do you think
Well,
they
I
save
mean-
it up?
Well, they
for,
must see their mates, mustn't they?
They must.
And they must think, oh, he's
What, you
died.
think they don't know?
They must, though. They must go like, look, what
I've
happened to
always-
John? He used that spiky thing, and now he's gone.
No, but I was always
not parrots.
I was brought up to believe that you were less likely to be stung by a bee because they knew once they'd done it, that was that.
Yeah.
If they don't know,
The idea that they're wandering around weighing it up,
Yeah.
whether it's worth it in
but
their
it is.
head.
It's so melodramatic. Yes, I'll sting him, but of course that'll be it for me.
I
It
know.
is.
Calm down. Calm down.
But it's not worth it, really.
Do you think there's a
I mean,
Michael Winner bee going, calm down, dear. You've only got one sting.
you think evolution would have taught them, someone would have realised by now, over the last few thousand years, that they shouldn't do that.
Right, you'd think it would.
The trouble is, if
it
we
would
lose the
blunt.
bees, I'm sure we've all read
we
about
need
it.
the
If we
bees.
lose the
We need the
bees, we lose a vast amount of the world's fruit.
Hey, no
Yeah.
one's suggesting culling
Yeah.
the bees, mate.
No, but when you get... So now when I'm being stung by a bee, I'm not worried about the pain, I'm worried about the knock-on effect on my fruit bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to end up with just the big three when the bees go.
What's the big
You know,
three?
an apple, orange, banana. You know, when I told you I checked into a
What
hotel and the bloke
selfish
said, we
motives.
put you a fruit bowl in the room. I thought, whoa, lovely, got in there.
Yeah.
Big three. That was it.
Just the big three.
I feel so disappointed in the big three. Frank.
Oh, I mean, come on.
Very poor rider.
We've had a
isn't
lot of people have got these
Can't do a bit
electronic
better than
swatters.
it? Oh, yeah.
They seem
Oh, the
popular.
tennis rackets. I got one of those, but I don't like the smell of burning.
No.
Well, someone says my in-laws have an electric fly swatter that looks like a small tennis bat.
Yeah, it does. But when you hit it, you get a... Because it's electrified. It's like hitting them with an electrified fence.
Yeah.
And then you can smell burning bee.
Yeah, I don't like
Okay.
the sound of that.
No, we don't want that in our lives, do we?
So Mark in Manchester says bees disembowel themselves when they sting. Fact.
Oh, like
He's let himself down with fact, but you
yeah,
know.
like the old Japanese Harry Kerry thing.
And 628 says my lover got stung in Verona recently, and I pulled the sting out.
Who's it from? Othello. Like, my lover got stung in Verona. A text from the 16th century. Wow, that's very romantic.
I feel like before we reply to this, we should always say, my liege, I hear your terrible news. Or something.
Sire,
Yeah.
news reaches me. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised that they're on the text, this lover in Verona.
No, exactly. It's they're late or early adopters, can't work it out.
Yeah.
The wasp thing, I always think of the wasps as the sort of tough guys and the bees as the creatives. Don't
Hang
you?
on, let's think about... Oh, yeah.
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 You know, bees hang around flowers and wasps hang around bins.
Yeah.
They're like top cat wasps.
Yeah.
They are, yeah.
You know, they're a
Wasps
bit
are the wrong
street.
side of the tracks, aren't
They are, yeah. They're a bit Putin.
And I think they can sting with impunity, can't they? There's no death
don't know what they
sentence on a
use.
sting for...
Well, I can't find, but someone had asked if the queen bee was the only celebrity in the insect/animal kingdom.
Well, not in the
So-
animal kingdom, because obviously there's the starfish.
Oh, lovely.
Lady Bird. Yeah.
She's
Well, that's aristocracy.
very aristocratic.
Well, Queen is the royalty, so more than celebrity, Queen Bee.
Okay.
Good point.
Starfish, I'll give you. What about star fruit? Not in my fruit bowl. I'm afraid
big
it was
three.
the Grand Trois. Would it be the Grand Trois or would it be the Trois Grand? Never quite sure with the
8, 12,
French.
15.
Yes, exactly.
By the way, I hate to break this to you, but I'm going soon.
You're off ski, aren't you?
Genuinely is going. He's leaving early today.
I'm finding at my age 3 hours is just a bit too. It's a
Well,
bit
he's only
too
doing
much.
it today.
No, I
You're going
am.
early.
He does other work during the week.
He
It's not
basically
just a
said to
2-hour
us, like we
shift.
worked in a factory, will you cover my shift?
I did. Will you cover my shift? I'm fun enough, I'm not even wearing one. But my son is playing Cowboy Joe in a play called Wild West. They haven't put a lot of thought into it, as you can tell.
Sounds great, though.
But full cowboy outfit, no guns. That's what the email said.
Oh.
They're not allowed to. See, when I dress, I spent most of my young life in a cowboy suit, but I always had the old gun holster and all that. But,
Yeah.
you of course say nothing now, can you?
Well, enjoy yourself there. That's
Well,
what-
thanks. I'm
yourself.
sorry to walk out. I feel bad. I feel I've let
It's all right.
everyone down.
To continue the cowboy theme, we'll hold the reins, yeah?
Yeah, Al,
I
get out
will.
some of those American box sets
Yeah.
and some carbohydrates.
Like you'd eat carbohydrates. Anyway, so I'm going to say goodbye. I'm not going to call for the feathers because the show's not over. I'm
Okay.
hoping that you will call for the feathers
I'll
later.
call for the feathers once I've texted my lover in Verona.
Yes, exactly. But I'm sorry to leave you in the lurch, as I once said to Mr. Adams from the Adams family at this very heavy party we went to. But I'm going to watch Cowboy Joe in action.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
This is the Frank Skinner Show, but Frank's left. I mean, not for good. He's just left temporarily. I'm Emily Dean. Well, you know that because I was here 5 minutes ago. I'm still here with Alan Cochrane. So if you're a fan of the Birmingham accent, I'm really sorry because he's gone. But if you're a fan of the Murfield or North London accent, great news.
I don't think people are tuning in just for Frank's accent, but I love the low status that we're bringing to the last hour of this show. Oh, please, will it be all right if we talk like this?
Is that low status enough for you?
No, that's
you can
good.
text the show on 81215. You can follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio. You can email the show via the Absolute Radio website, although we all know no one does that. So, Al, what's going on?
Well, we have had a bit of... we've been running bee and bird news, birds and the bees news.
I know, I
today.
love that we're doing late review, Birds and the Bees.
We've just had a text from Mark in Manchester. Bees disembowel themselves when they sting. Fact, you're welcome.
Oh, my goodness.
I think that's a fact that Frank would really like, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
That'll teach him. We've also had... Do you remember we just had a link where... what I would like to call the Othello link from now on.
I love the Othello link. If you weren't listening, I feel bad for you, son.
Yeah, you missed out.
Because it was a brilliant moment where someone had texted, what did they say, Al? They said
they had a lover in Verona or something like that. And that person has texted again saying, 628 it is, she's my Italian lover. How else should I describe her?
well, that's fair enough. I mean, you could say partner.
Good
But
point.
I quite like maybe bring back lover. It's a bit French, isn't it? It's a bit old school.
Also, you mooted the idea that the queen bee was the most celeb animal or insect.
100%.
Well, I still think the starfish is up there. And 175 said the kingfisher is the boss, though. Good
We
point.
forgot the kingfisher. I love
649
the
has also
kingfisher.
said, don't forget the kingfisher.
I like don't forget the kingfisher as a general rule in life.
And on Birds and Bee News, we were gathering facts about them.
Yeah.
And John from West Drayton, 957, has said, now, can a dead wasp still sting? That is a good question, because that's one of those...
What do you mean,
urban
what the
myths.
sting remains? Is that an urban myth, is
I
it?
think so, yeah. If they just happen to, if they perish, if a wasp just, gets old, it's just lying there, and you try and tidy it up, I think the thing is you can get a sting. So,
But it's their revenge
rubber
from...
gloves.
Is it beyond the grave, like zombies? They come
Yeah.
back to haunt you. It's like Carrie.
I think it's exactly like that.
It's like when they reach out from the grave. One last sting.
Indeed. Very similar to that. If a dead wasp can still sting, let us know on 81215.
That's what we're discussing this morning. I've got to say, I mean, we were talking earlier, Frank was a fan of the birds, I was a fan of the bees, you were sitting on the fence.
No, I prefer to say middle ground. Like,
Okay, you were on the middle ground.
there's no middle
with
in
the pigeons.
politics anymore, is there? So you're either extreme
Wow,
right
I've
or
gone to
extreme
politics.
left.
I thought we were talking about birds and bees.
I just think that there's some comfort in the middle for me.
Okay, but I was a bees fan.
Yeah.
Because I like that they're sort of, they're getting a bit, they would be described in Love Island as aggy. They're getting
Yeah.
a bit aggy, the bees.
Yeah, their scene's really buzzing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And they're quite glamorous. They're in New York. Well, Hull.
Bright
I mean,
colours.
Yeah, lovely colours.
Do some bright colours.
Making a bit of noise.
Yeah, they're there.
I'll tell you what we need to talk about this morning as well.
Birds and bees.
No, we've done the birds and bees, Al. I've got the fez already.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll come back to something.
Can I tell you what I would like to come back to?
Henry VIII.
No,
You
close.
don't want me to guess?
Close. Tim Westwood.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Ow.
You want to talk about Tim Westwood, but before we do, I didn't realise that we'd lit up the switchboard quite as much as we have with Birds and the Bees info.
People like old school stuff like Birds and the Bees.
358, Richie from Newark, has said the venom sac at the end of a wasp sting keeps pulsing for a short period after a wasp dies. So if you come in contact with the sting, you may still be injected with venom.
Can I just say, there's nothing that's not disgusting about that text. The venom sac, ow.
Good info, though. Good info. And
Well, is it? I mean, when is the venom sac going to come in useful for us?
929 has texted, do bees really fly in a beeline? If so, when and why? Which I think is also a good question. And
yeah.
628 again,
Yeah.
who is the man with the, or possibly man, I think man with the lover in Verona.
Oh, the one that Frank said texted from the 16th century.
Yes, has now added, intriguingly, she's
Yes.
not my partner, she's married, we are lovers.
Shut up.
He probably does have to shut up quite a lot, actually, in that scenario. You know, loosely.
So
loose
hang on
lips
a
sink
second.
ships, as they say.
So they're having an affair?
I think that's the word, yeah.
Well, no one knows, except now that we've told everyone. They are having an affair. Everyone, neighbours, they're having an affair. These two people.
Yeah.
Wow, blow me down with a venom sac. I can't actually believe it, Al. I mean, I don't know them.
It's what they call a bit of goss. I mean, it's definitely a bit of goss.
I'm really excited, and I'm really pleased for you that you got to break the news. I saw a tweet from someone called Lee Foster on my personal page.
Oh, yeah.
Emperor penguin, hashtag celebrity animals.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you stand on penguins?
That's a big celeb, I think, if he's an emperor.
And I mean, the penguins
Presumably
make
it's a
it...
he, if they're an emperor.
Well, they make it so hard for the rest. They're so endearing, they walk funny, they're comedy.
But also they've got the dignity of being the emperor of the whole, you know, they've got it all going on, haven't they?
They've got dignity, big nose, but, you know, you can't win them all.
They're always ready to go to like a banquet or something. They're constantly in the penguin suit. Black
They've
tie.
always got 24/7 black tie.
Yeah.
That's what they're wearing. Anyway, can we talk? I'm still reeling from the affair news.
Yeah, you've lost track of Westwood, haven't you? What is it that you wanted to discuss about Westwood? I know. I mean, I already know because I've seen the media.
Have you seen?
Not only have I seen the media, I've seen his socials. I've seen the social media. I'm not on Snapchat. I don't understand it.
No.
But
Well, that's because you don't have a hear ye affair.
he made a mistake, didn't he?
He got into a little bit of trouble.
He did get into a little
Doing
bit of-
slight Frank Spencer meets Westwood there.
done a little whoopsie, hasn't he, on the Snapchat? Not what you think. He screenshot. No, he took a photograph and put it up on Snapchat of his.
Why did you abandon the youth vernacular then? It was going well with screenshot.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Screen
think I just
grabbed,
got-
yeah.
he screen grabbed. I got self-conscious. But he then put it up on the old Snapchat.
Yeah.
And it said it was meant for a lover. Let's be honest. It was meant for a lover in Verona, saying, "Baby, looking forward to taking you to dinner on Thursday. I appreciate you may want to get nails, hair, and wax done."
Can we just pause and let that sink in? I appreciate you may want to get hair,
Yeah.
nails and wax done. Okay, as you were?
Even some new shoes or a clutch bag. I personally think that should have a question mark there, but let's not get too... I get annoyed by the ceasing use of question marks.
Okay.
They've been replaced
That's-
by full stop.
Funny enough, that's not what annoys me about this text, but anyway.
Use my card. It's black with private banking, so there's no limits. Brackets. But don't be buying a car. Don't be buying a new car, lol. Which
Okay.
stands for laugh out loud. For
Well, yeah. I think he thinks, like David Cameron, it stands for lots of love. So I don't know really quite where to begin. What happened, as you say, is Tim Westwood had put this up on Snapchat and he meant to send it to his date, his lover,
yes.
and unfortunately it was published and everyone saw it.
To the, probably thousands of people on Snapchat at that moment. Am I right in thinking that Snapchat stops? Like you put it up there and then it disappears, but some people screen grabbed it and then shared
Yes,
it.
but you get notified if something screen grabbed. But actually,
Oh,
what
do you?
happened? The producer Frank said to the producer last week, aren't you a bit old for Snapchat?
Well, if you are, Westwood really is, because he's in his 60s officially, isn't he?
He's on his 60s, yeah. Some say he might even be a little bit older, maybe.
Right, so 60s is his Wikipedia age, probably.
I mean, I don't know what the real age is. I'm just saying, Telegram, maybe, commencing.
Skinner, Dean, and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
Hi, Al.
Hello. We were discussing Westwood.
Oh, yes.
You said there was a lot to go at from that text. That,
Well,
not the text, the Snapchat.
I mean, if anyone's
script.
not familiar with the work of Westwood,
Oh, yeah.
I'd say he's a sort of 60-year-old man. That's fair enough. I believe he is 60. And he's a bit
Give or
G,
take.
isn't he? He's
He
a bit
is.
gangster. He's famous
He's
for
quite G.
not really talking like you would expect a 60-year-old man to talk like. So
Yeah.
I did hear someone say once they thought it was an elaborate hoax, like Joaquin Phoenix, and he just made this up.
yeah.
Is it Joaquin or Joaquin?
Joaquin.
Okay, Joaquin, we with Joaquin.
I think so.
But I read an interview with Tim Westwood recently, and even when he was ordering waffles, his waffles arrived, and he exclaimed, "Smash that!"
He sounds all right.
I also read that his father was a bishop,
Yeah.
which is a whole other thing. But then he said this.
Only ever moved diagonally, his father.
Oh, lovely, Al.
Hashtag chest joke.
I love that. I love a chest joke. We do a lot on the show. We got the night. Did I have a night's move earlier, by the way?
You did actually.
Okay,
yes.
thank you for the night's move. Thanks for your interest at this time. We will keep your request on file when it becomes relevant. So he said, this is what Westwood said in this interview, Al. Can I do an accent for Westwood? Yeah? How does everyone feel? Yeah, okay. That's a yes for me. If I'm hanging out with the guys, my jeans might be low. I might be swearing, talking crazy. If I'm with my mum, I pull my jeans up. I don't swear out of respect for the situation, but it's still me, brother. When I'm with the guys, I'm still Westwood. When I'm with my mum, I'm still Westwood. Your mum? You're 60.
Yeah.
You're talking about respect for your mum and not having your jeans hanging down. If your jeans are hanging down, that's because you need the toilet at that age. I mean, he's got a freedom pass. Seriously.
I mean, I find the low jeans thing frustrating on people that are 16, let alone 60.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a way to move.
I do think, Al, in relation to this text, which obviously I want to analyse forensically, so baby, looking forward to taking you to dinner on Thursday, etc. Mm-hmm. I could write a 2,000-word essay on my feelings about this.
Well,
In fact, that would have been my university dissertation.
feel free to articulate it on the radio instead.
The Westwood Snapchat. But firstly, baby, so can't remember her name.
You think?
Yeah, he's got a few knocking around, Westwood.
Surely he's got that in his phone, her actual name.
I don't know.
They can't all just be filed under baby. That would be too many.
What about baby 1, 2 and 3?
Maybe.
I think you may want to, I appreciate you may want to get nails, hair and wax. What that is saying is get your waxing done.
Get tidied up to come to dinner with me. That's what I think that's...
I like a clean work surface. That's what that's saying.
Yeah.
And I tell you what I don't like about that. He didn't mean eyebrows.
You don't think?
No, or upper lip.
Okay. You know we're on the radio, don't you? I'm just terrified.
But that's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. We're being oblique. Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah. But he's
We're using
offering to-
euphemisms here.
He's offering to pay it as well, which I suppose is, if that's his taste, then,
I
he
don't
should
care
fork
if
out.
he's offering to pay. I'm not having a man saying, I appreciate you may want to get a wax done. I mean, presumptuous, moi. Don't you think that is?
Well, he said, I appreciate you may. Like, there's the caveat, you might not.
So you're a Westwood apologist?
No, not at all.
Oh my, OMG. Smash that.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
So Tim Westwood did put this thing up, and he did have a lot of people trying to use his bank details to buy Louis Vuitton bags for $4,700 each. Which,
Someone tried to buy 5 Louis Vuitton bags.
yeah, I mean, like just one bag for life could have covered that for loads less. Saved Tim Westwood a bit of cash. I think there might be a little bit of accidental humble brag thing here. Is it Do you think he was just doing it to go, hey, everyone, I've got private banking with an unlimited amount? And maybe there's a bit of me that, I'm hashtag frugal, apparently.
You are hashtag frugal.
But there's a bit of me that thinks if he's been in the public eye for, 20 years, he's probably made a few quid.
70 years.
Why is he even bothering with a credit card? Why isn't he just sending her a photograph of a debit card that he's got a really healthy credit in? Like, if he says my bank balance is strong, get yourself a new dress or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why he needs to use the credit card. Is this a really
Yes, you're
pernickety
right.
point?
No, you're absolutely right. He should be using the debit. Where's your cash? You're having to buy things
I know it's not
on
cool.
tick.
Like, nobody likes the idea of going, oh, here's my debit card.
You don't hear debit cards referenced in rap songs that often, do you?
True. Maybe
My
that's
car,
what
my
it is.
crib, my HSBC debit visa.
But in his defence, he said, I've had all these women holler at me on Instagram wanting me to
Holler.
be their sugar daddy. And he said, they're saying, pay $5,000 into my account every month. I'll see you every week and I'll use that money to look good for you. And he then added, I do not want that. I do not want a kept woman. I don't believe in that. So just to give him his...
He doesn't want a
dues.
kept woman.
He doesn't want a kept woman. He wants a woman that may want to spend his money on a wax and a handbag, but not a car.
Yeah.
That's not
I mean,
a kept
I
woman,
would
it's not
say
the
the
same
more...
thing.
Also, Al, the more gangster thing... I will return to kept woman gate.
Yeah.
But the more gangster thing is surely to be rolling on the bed with the dollar bills.
That is
Or the
quite gangster.
golden pound coin, whatever takes your fancy. Not details of my HSBC card. That's not very gangster, is
This
it?
is all going to change when Bitcoin and cryptocurrency go massive. You can't roll on the bed on Bitcoin because it's just in the ether, innit? It's
You may
not
want to
there.
get nails, hair and wax done. Here's my Bitcoin.
I mean, if there's any doubt that he respects women, here's a sentence from the article that I've seen. The former Pimp My Ride UK host is adamant he respects women and is more than happy to split the bill if they want to pay.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Awesome.
Do you know, that's
He's back in the building.
my favourite kind of feminist. Tells me to get my wax done, but expects me to pay.
Happy to share the bill
Thanks for that.
if they want to pay.
The worst of all worlds. I think he's probably... You you hear things about him, and he is meant to be a really nice man,
he's
Tim
probably
Westwood,
all
isn't
right,
it? I think
yeah.
he's lovely. But I just think he's got a bit stuck in a moment, if you know what I mean, as you two once said,
Yeah.
where he's... I think it's time to move on now.
Right. Pull the jeans up.
Pull the jeans up, Al.
Which is a modern interpretation on pull your socks up. Back when socks were the problem, before jeans.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with dating in your 60s. I think it's lovely. But
Yeah.
I think to be saying you may want to get nails, hair and wax done.
Yeah.
I mean, at that age, you're grateful if they arrive without a Zimmer.
Yeah,
aren't
just
you?
show up.
Come on.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Did you see any of Glasto, Al?
I saw a little bit of Radiohead last week on the old telly. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they played loads of OK Computer, which is an album I really like. So
Yeah, big
Boom.
with the nerds. That one.
It's a definite biggie, isn't it? I mean, I'm not big with the nerds, but that album is.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
I like having Glasto on in the background as a reminder of why I'm not there.
All right.
And I make a point of really spending a lot of time in the nice panelled bathroom with the new tiles.
Right.
I
Lovely.
luxuriate in my toiletness.
Uh-huh.
And I also think I'm glad I haven't got facial glitter on and I'm not on someone's shoulders.
All right.
I don't think you should do either of those things over the age of 10. Where do you stand?
20? 20? I mean, I recently had glitter on my face at a wedding. I went to a
Oh.
wedding where there was a glitter station for people to get photographed. And
Quite niche.
Everybody said it was a sort of a festivally themed wedding, and everyone went, "You won't put glitter on, Alan." And I went, "Yeah, I'm really glad you all know me so well. I'm not putting glitter on." 10 minutes later, glitter all over my face.
Had you had a few... I mean, you don't drink these days,
I
but...
didn't have a drink. I just succumbed to peer pressure, and then I started to feel a bit like truculent and going,
Yeah.
all right there, guys, I'll show you. You all think I'm not going to put glitter on. And so they got what they wanted. I think it was a weird double bluff on behalf of my friends.
I hope you were intentionally very dour northern man in glitter.
Well, actually, I'll tell you a strange thing. There was also a sort of a dressy-up photo station where there was like feather boas and a bit of costume.
I would have been there.
And
Scissor Sisters Station, I'm calling that.
yes, very like that. And me and about 7 friends and partners and all that stuff, we were all getting our photograph taken.
Yeah.
Somebody handed
Me and the
like
guys.
somebody handed me like a tiger face mask. So I put the tiger face mask on, posed for loads of photographs with my friends, took the face mask off and realised that my face was really sore. And I realised that I'd been grinning behind a mask for the whole time to be in photographs. People going, say cheese. And I was like, and which is mystifying to me, given that I barely smile during the rest of a typical day.
I'll vouch for that.
I had face ache from grinning behind
from
the
smiling.
photograph.
I thought it was the cheapness of the tiger mask.
No, not at all. It was
okay.
me thinking I'll make an effort for the photograph, forgetting that I look like a tiger.
You didn't need to because you had the tiger.
Didn't need to at all. I could have just kept my usual dour...
Did the tiger mask, sorry to get forensic, but masks matter to me.
Do they?
Did the elastic, was it tied like 3 times on either side, little bobbles?
No,
I
it's
hate
quite
that.
a good elastic.
Oh, okay.
But you're right, the man behind the mask, turns out, is a grinning idiot. That's what I am. Who knew that about me?
So how long did the tiger mask stay on for?
Oh, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes.
Did you keep it?
I've got a stopwatch, but I didn't use it on that particular moment of the day.
Any plans to incorporate it into other
God,
areas
no.
of your life?
God, no. I'm not going to a mask ball, if that's what you're asking. I've got other stuff to do with my
I
time.
just wondered how it went down at home.
We've had a little bit more bee news in. Never mind disemboweling while stinging. Male bees die during coitus from genital explosion.
Oh, my. What?
Probably not the note that we wanted to finish the show on, but there it is.
Now you break it to me?
Yeah. So
I'm in
there you are.
shock. Can you imagine how the bees are feeling?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We're talking about Glastonbury.
Glasgow.
I've never been.
I've never been.
You've never been.
Probably not going now. I know it's not good to rule things out. It's a bit negative, but I'm probably not going.
Really? Do you think the window's closed on your Glastonbury?
Yeah, I'm at a different time of life, I think.
But you get those middle-class Glastos, don't you? You get sort of Alan Yentob in a yurt. Yentob's, but you do.
Yeah, quite a few of them. You got Victoria Beckham helicoptering there and then getting angry that there was no one to meet her and hang out.
I saw that.
I was thinking that's a snapshot into my life. Quite often eating takeaway under a lamppost alone. Like waiting to go into a gig or something. Like she's so surrounded by minders and minions, I guess.
Do you think that's what it is? Because, I read this. She was upset because she was abandoned in the VIP area.
Do you think she's got abandonment issues?
Yeah, I do. She was abandoned by her husband and son. And I presume maybe at that level you can sort of buy company to a degree. I'm not suggesting she's paying for her family to be with her.
No.
But in a sense she is. She's bringing in the money.
But,
so it's almost like then the panic.
Yeah,
I suppose you feel panic-stricken.
I suppose it's this classic entourage thing, isn't it? If she's got an entourage, she feels like this is a safe space. If there's no one around, she's like, well, what am I meant to do? Check my emails on my phone?
Well, what I liked
I
is
bet that's
that
what she did.
after this alleged row, Brooklyn, the Sun, dealt with this. And someone said that he'd said, don't worry, Dad, I'll get you a drink.
And he went off and got him a gin and tonic.
A double gin and tonic.
Did he get him a double?
Apparently.
I don't know how he did that, though, because he's underage.
Is he?
Isn't he? Brooklyn. How old is Brooklyn?
I don't know. We've got boffins in white coats behind the scenes working on this.
He's been pilloried this week for his photographs. You know, he's got a photo album out.
Well,
a photo album.
We should say a photo album. He's released a photo album. He's released a book and it's called What I See.
Yeah.
It's called What I See.
In it, close brackets. That bit's silent. It's not.
What I See, brackets, it's well good.
Yeah.
What I see, I tell you, the reason that people have been somewhat disparaging is that you open it and there is a photograph of an elephant in silhouette.
Yeah.
And he says, so hard to photograph, incredible to see.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are thinking elephants not so hard to photograph.
They're not that hard to photograph. You just have to turn the lights on.
They're massive.
They're quite big. I mean, it's not like so hard to see. He also, when he says, a lot of people have been sort of defending him and saying, well, look, he's just, this is an access to his world and what's around him. But it happened again. There was another photo of a dinner party. It's all out of focus. Oh. He says in the caption, it's out of focus, but you can tell there's a lot going on.
I like that.
Again, what I see, ... but you can't. I mean, why doesn't he just call the book Soz You Had to Be There? It's essentially what he's saying.
I like it. I sort of feel sorry for him in a way, because, like, the Beckhams as parents, they have to say, these are good photos, because, like, it's basically like a kind of a bit more grown-up version of me looking at kids' photos and going, yeah, that looks like a tree, even though it's just a brown splurge with some glitter on it. Yeah, you say it's a tree, do you? Okay, we'll put it on the freezer. Let's put it up with a magnet on the fridge freezer.
Yeah.
And they're basically doing a version of that to a young man. Like, no, that's a really good photo of an elephant. Why don't we put it in a book?
I know, but come on, what I see. Heaven's sake, man.
Heaven's sake.
It's been lovely being with you today.
I've enjoyed the last hour.
I've
Enjoyed it all,
well,
but,
I've enjoyed it all. I mean, what a way to spend a Saturday.
Innit?
What? Never mind what I see. What about what I do? That's going to be my book.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Bring on the feathers.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.